Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. We can start parallel development on the client and server sides. We can absolutely do this because I've already written the code. I just need to copy all the points from the MyCircle code here, paste them all in, then copy the CPP file together, then take the server code, copy it over, paste it in, then connect everything, and I'll finish the lesson in 3 sessions. But actually doing this is definitely wrong and won't work because you simply can't absorb it. You just can't absorb it. Why did I write it this way? How is it designed? So, let's simulate a start from scratch for everyone. That is, we roughly only know what features we want for the first version. Then we need 2, that is, the server side does A, then the client side does B, then the server side does C next, then the client side does D. We work through this A, B, C, D cycle. Instead of directly doing A, then B, and then development is finished. But in actual development, there certainly are situations like this. On the server side, it just goes straight through A, and that's it. Then on the client side, after the server finishes A, it follows along with B, 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 B. It won't be like what we do, where we first finish writing the server framework, then go write the client framework. Then after the client is written, we go back to write the server interfaces. After finishing the server interfaces, we then come back to write the client interfaces. We won't do it that way, because doing it that way is too slow, especially if it involves different teams working on the client and server. But if it's through this ABCD method to guide you in learning, absorbing it this way might be a bit better. Then obviously we'll start writing from the server side. Because if we start writing from the server side, what do we need to do? First come to this place. We'll still go to our project. We need to create a standalone program. So here we'll create a blank program. Right. Then I'll still guide you step by step, slowly, because I think you will make this mistake. You will definitely make this mistake. Based on my experience, you will definitely make this mistake. Why? It's because I myself, I make this mistake every time. So you will make this mistake too. So I can't skip this part. I'll still walk you through it. Let's call it Xiaogang. Xiaogang simple. We'll call it Xiaogang simple. Then server, right. Yeah, simple. Simple, a server. Okay, let's remember this name. This name is Shabbat server. And this target.cs, let's put it here. Let's change this name first. We won't touch these for now. Then we change this name as well. Then next, we'll go through and change the files on this side, one by one. We open it with OS. Okay, starting from this step, it's especially easy to miss. This part needs to be changed. Change it first. Then this part needs to be changed like this. And then the loader memo here, we need to write it like this. Okay, so this file should be done after the changes. Let's erase it. As for here, this action is this Google JSON. Whether to save it or not probably doesn't matter. Okay, here we are. This is what we covered in the previous lecture. I need to save. You must be careful when using OS. It might not let you save here. That's quite annoying. Just change the name here and it'll be fine. And there's a circle here, meaning it hasn't been saved. Let's save it. Okay, then let's come back here. Back to our place. This should not be needed. This is not needed. The key point is that this is also not needed. You don't need to worry about this. Where do we use this? It might be useful in some other places. Don't worry about it. Then we are here. Okay. There are more changes needed here. So this needs to be changed. And leave this alone. Okay, this log needs to be changed. The log needs to be changed to this. Okay, the module name implemented here needs to be changed. This we'll clear out all these things here. We'll need to rewrite everything. Then we'll paste the log from here. Okay, fine. Okay, so roughly all the changes should be in place now. Once the changes are in place, we'll save it. Then refresh our project. Refreshing the project is also very simple. Just refresh it here. Actually, after we talked about the HTTP server, you can go ahead and do some streaming transfers with this HTTP server. Upload and download. So you make your own server, debug and learn by yourself. This is a very good closed loop. We call it a closed loop. Of course, you can also use Python. Using Python is more convenient and simpler, but Python brings one problem. It increases your additional learning cost. But generally Python is something you need to master. It's very simple. just spend 2 or 3 days looking at it. Then we erase this. Then we reload. Okay. Then we should have this single puzzle. Let's compile it. We set it as the startup project. Let's compile it. Okay, we won't move it into here. We can move it in. Everyone still remembers how to move it, right? You just need to do a simple process here, and that's it. We won't move it in. We'll keep it consistent with our demo project. Okay, alright, let's restart it here. It should flash briefly. Okay, that proves there's no problem. Alright, at this point, everyone needs to make sure there's no issue with this step. Once there's no issue with this step, and let's create this file first. Let's create the file structure first. Alright, let's see what the structure is. It seems there's a YouTube. This part is mainly for doing some server-related legality fragments. Then for these types, it is for doing some related configurations of our local server. For example, some database configurations of our server. Some configurations of the server's local server key. Yes, this is how its type is done. Then this response type, request type, and this HTTP type. These 3 files also need to be present on the client side. And here, it is best to be exactly the same. Actually, it's not a problem if they are not exactly the same, but it is best to be exactly the same, because we need to do something equivalent to customizing data, performing serialization and deserialization. Then when you send data and receive it, it is best for them to be the same. So these 3 files will also exist on the client side. Then you might ask, does this file support reflection if you have it on the client? Will there be a conflict? Will there be a conflict? Actually, there won't be a conflict, because on the server, it is a program. The client is also a program. Inside their programs, the 3 files are exactly the same, but they have nothing to do with each other. So there won't be a conflict. Here, we are essentially making a copy of the 3 files. And then this is the server instance, and this is our log. This is a config we made. Make a config. Okay. We won't guide you through creating the database here, because we won't be using the database plugin. Okay. But as for the database, we'll still keep it for you. You can do a simple extension implementation here. That is, you can. Okay. Now let's guide you through creating it. Here, we'll put it into the port. So here there is first of all, it's a config. That is, we need a single configuration to manage our configurations. You might ask, why not use config? It's because we've already written it here. We don't have gconfig. And when we all teach gconfig, you'll find that gconfig has a very troublesome problem. That is, different engine versions, they like to change the read and write rules of config. You'll find that 5.0 and 5.4, the default rules are different. That's really annoying. At this point, it's generally better to customize it ourselves. For example, if you use Cafe, if you don't change the version, it's fine. But if you do change the version, similar issues will occur. Here, we still include this Let me think about it. We won't include this myXQLA. If it's not needed, don't include it. Then here we add a small dash. Simple server. Server config. This is our server configuration. RDH. This is a server configuration. Okay, then let's write our log. Because we might need this log in many places, so we need to write this log. It's simpler. Okay, if I make any spelling mistakes along the way, just correct them manually, because sometimes I might change SM to SMAZ. For everyone, correct as long as it doesn't affect readability. And this is the instance of our server. As for the server instance, we'll call it XG. Simple. Instance server. object. We do it like this. Okay. This kind of name should follow our naming convention. Here is the music point. Turn off the music first, then we go to this type. The type name needs to be a bit more complex, because this involves communication. We won't write the code inside until a few more lessons later. Let's create it in advance. Otherwise, it would be annoying for the teacher to update this project for everyone later. This means we have some requests. So this is how we use enumeration. Of course, we can also use enterprise number 1, that is 1235. We can also use strings here because both our pointer and parameter are in U++. So we use enumeration here. This enumeration supports blueprint reflection serialization. It is extremely convenient for us to use. So we chose to use this. The enumeration method, actually, in commercial development, it might use strings or integer types. Yeah, when we make a request, what data we need to send, and what data our server needs to return. Finally, we also have an HTTP server type. This is some types used internally by our server. For example, the server we defined, this is about which features are used and what version number is developed. Okay, please take a look at these 4 files. No issues. Let's go to this YouTube again. This YouTube is meant to make it convenient for our client and server. When doing subtitle transaction, we don't want to write 2 sets of code. We just copy it over to keep it consistent. Okay. Let's write the CPP file. Okay, so our structure here has been created. Let's refresh the project. Yeah, right. We must make sure it's normal, especially if you write it wrong, and it will report an error. That's also normal. Then, after we finish writing the code, after we finish writing this file, we check it. Then the first thing we do is write the dependency relationship. You must write the dependency relationship right away. The copyright doesn't matter whether it's written or not. Actually, the include here, we can actually not include it for now. Let's copy the copyright. We won't use this copyright, wasting our time. Then we include the same file as well. We mainly need to copy this. Here in this place. Why didn't we write it CPP? Because these are all data structures. It has no methods, just data structures. If you've written Java before, it has various IOPA, various OO objects. This is like our kind of object. Information like this, okay? The CPP here reports the same one. Okay, now let's compile it again. Okay, let's go back to our place. Let's restart it to make sure it's working properly. I'm especially worried that you might get stuck in the middle. So I'm doing it very slowly. Oh, this part. Okay, it has finished executing. It should be like this. No problem. Because once it finishes executing, that's it. Okay, that's all for this lesson. We'll officially start writing code in the next lesson.